Unless specifically indicated otherwise, the content expressed are my views only and not necessarily those of Life Pro Asset Management, LLC. The content presented is in no way an investment advice, solicitation, or an offer to sell securities or investment advisory services. The material is provided for general information and educational purposes based upon publicly available information from sources believed to be reliable. I cannot assure the accuracy or completeness of these materials. As such, the information in these materials may change at any time without notice. Reference to these discussions about IULs and annuities or fixed insurance products. Investments on fixed insurance products are different from investments in the stock market. Any guarantees provided by a fixed insurance product cannot be assumed to be guaranteed for any other investment.
Welcome to the Rock My Finances show on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV, where we put the fun in finance. Join Powerhouse Jennifer Jose, CDFA, CMC, and Private Wealth Advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros, so what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Jose.
Hey there. Welcome to Rock My Finances podcast and radio show and TV show, actually. This is a safe place for women to think, feel, act, anything that has to do with money or dollar signs. And so since the traditional world of finance is from the masculine brain, and it's really men that created this that are speaking to men, we decided we need to have a place to be for women to think and talk and act and show what we do around money and finances and why it's so different. So today I am joined by my very, very good friend, Miss Denise Carbone. She is the CEO, founder, and owner, operator, everything of Special Advantage. She is a goddess and a guru when it comes to the special needs community. Denise, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to be here and totally geek out on our topic today.
And what is our topic today, Miss?
Oh my gosh. Our topic today kind of is like part 2 of the last time we were together talking about law of attraction. And we wanted to go a little deeper into supporting people on how to get out of those negative emotional states, the crunchy emotional states. So I believe, if memory serves me, that our topic is the emotional guidance scale and what to do when we are heading upstream versus downstream.
Yep, I love it. Upstream is when you're climbing up the hill and going against the current instead of just being in the flow. We love to be in the flow, right? And when we're not in the flow, we get crunchy and irritable. Now, here's the trick.
Paddling upstream instead of letting it go.
Right, so letting it go. And the thing is, our society teaches us to go upstream. No pain, no gain without pain.
Right.
Suffer, fake it till you make it. Suffer through that. So everything that we've always learned is absolutely opposite than what we're going to talk about today.
Right.
I love
Thank
it.
God.
Thank God. Right. Okay. So Denise and I geek out with law of attraction and Abraham Hicks and all that. So look at the other podcast that talks about Abraham Hicks as well, because we believe that this is the foundation that we have to create the life of wealth and desire and joy and happiness. You can be in any place in your life and still not feel completely fulfilled. And so we always want to talk about what are we attracting in our life.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Do believe that at least you and I are so aligned in this, and we don't always agree on stuff, which is totally normal with friendships, right? Or family members or whatever, but we are aligned that we can create our own reality and we can really do, be, or have what we want to achieve. It's usually just our own mindset or ourselves that are getting in the way, keeping us from getting to where we want to be. Right.
I love it. I love it. I had a teacher tell me this in 1994. And it was actually right after I lost my kids. And I was like, oh, no. You do not create your reality. Go to hell. I would have never created this reality.
Of course not. Right.
Right. And so she's like, just skip that law, that universal law. Let's just skip that law and have you keep going.
There you go.
Okay, I can do that. I'm going to pretend like that law is not going to be on the table right now. And I'll do the other laws.
Right. I'll go with law of gravity, but I don't want to listen to that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Not even thinking that I can create any of that. I mean, and people even say, well, how would kids create cancer and how would all that? And so we absolutely understand that it is more to it than just us.
Yeah.
It's more to it than just our brain, right? We come to it in a womb from a human giving us energy. We grew up in a childhood. That's a great question. What was your theme around money growing up?
Family.
Yeah, asking you. I don't remember your family growing up around money. Did you guys have a theme in your household? Oh, there she's frozen again. Oh, I'm so sorry.
For some reason, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go. You were frozen. Sorry. Say that again.
I missed your question.
What was your theme around money in your household growing up?
Growing up, it was money does not grow on trees. Oh, yeah. Was a big one. There was a lot. You have to work hard to earn your money. Was a belief that I inherited. And then we joke about it now, but my dad used to move from room to room. And if we left the lights on, he would say very loudly, "What do you think? I work for PG&E?" Meaning, come on, you got to shut the light off so we could reserve some money and save a little money and have the things that we want and not waste it. So it was very, 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 very different from how I feel now.
I love it. And mine was work hard, make money. And we owned a business. They never took a vacation. It was 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I mean, I didn't know what any of that was throughout my whole life. Right. And that's what I did. And being a single mom, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? But I created a world of working hard, making money in finance. I have to show myself in this man's world of money and be successful and put food on the table for my children. Business owners were always working hard, make money. And then the year that I said, let's go downstream instead of upstream, doubled my income. So work hard, make money is bullshit. Like that's not a thing.
Go have fun, take the vacation. It's so funny because I didn't think about it until just right now. It's kind of a little different shift than money, but it makes sense. I have been telling my clients, right, for over 30 years, take the vacation. You need the vacation. Your children need the vacation. Get them out of the therapy office and go have some fun. And inevitably, the kids always make more progress when they take the vacation. And so it's the same kind of thing. You let go of the work hard aspect of it, or that you have to do it this way. You go out there and suddenly change it and you get lighter. You let go of the oars and you float downstream and things just flow and improve.
That's awesome. I love it. And when we're in the flow, things feel sometimes, now I'm going to say they're amazing and I love it because when I'm in my flow, I know the decision. I know where to go. It's easy peasy. Like I literally am in the flow when I moved completely on the other side of the state. I'm in the flow when I make these huge decisions and I love that and it's easy.
Right.
And then sometimes when we're in the flow a long time, we're like, where's the other shoe going to drop? Because we're not used to being in the flow for so much, right? Have you ever experienced that?
I have. I don't experience that a lot, but I did say that actually to my last boyfriend, Tony, at one point. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop here because it's too good. It's too good. What's going to happen?
Oh, man. I think we've all done that at a certain place. Okay. Yeah. So on our last podcast, we were talking, like you just said, we can have, do, or create our reality. And what we put out, we get back. Right. So that's just the basic law, right? That some people call it karma. Every religion calls it something, right?
Right.
And so when we put something out, it's going to come back to us. So when you tell your clients to go on vacation and they relax and have fun, so of course they're going to experience more relaxation and more fun. Same with us, right? When we wake up every day and say, okay, what's going to bring me joy right now? Yes, I have to follow my calendar. However, what's going to bring me joy in between that? As Peterlin says, where's the space in between? Find the space between the raindrops, which I totally love.
Right.
Right. And we need to slow down to be able to do that. So how do we find the joy and stay in it? So what would be like maybe your morning routine, Denise, that gets you started in the morning?
Well, the first thing I do when I wake up is, my go-to phrase is my day, my way.
Ooh, that's good.
Sets me up for the tone. And it reminds me that I get to choose how this day is going to go. Right. I've just slept however many hours I slept, sometimes it's shorter than others, and I quieted my mind. I stopped thinking about all of the crunchy, crappy stuff that might have happened or carried over from yesterday or earlier in the week or whatever. So today it's like the reset button, my day, my way. And I think about, well, what do I want today to be like? Maybe set an intention or a word. And that's usually kind of how I wake up. And then, as you know, I do start off with an Abraham Hicks YouTube video or 3, as I do tend to gravitate towards those. And then I do my meditation practice. I do have a very solid morning ritual, morning routine. I take a lot of time in the morning just to give myself an opportunity to feed my brain, my body, and my soul. My spirituality. And so it involves different things, different days, but usually there's some kind of prayer, meditation, gratitude practice. There's movement. There's setting intentions and just feeding my brain with something new. And
when you say a lot of time, Denise, how much time do you allow for that?
I give myself a full hour and a half.
Holy shit. Yeah.
It's a lot. I do. I wake up at 6, and by 7:30, that's when I am starting breakfast, and 8 o'clock, I'm in the shower.
And I can tell you right now, there's many entrepreneur ladies listening out there right now going in, oh yeah, hour and a half of extra time to do me. They do not have it.
Well, neither do busy moms, right?
Exactly. Your clients definitely do not have it.
Yeah. Well, some of them now do, because they understand the importance of actually carving time for themselves. Like I have one mom that was on in my membership group this week that was saying, I'm first, which is a total mind shift for her. Rather than putting her son first, she's like, I come first, because if I'm not whole, I'm no good to him, which is exactly true. So for busy entrepreneurs or busy moms or parents, I would say carve out what works best for you. Maybe it's 15 minutes. Maybe it's 5 minutes. I certainly didn't start with an hour and a half. That's like what I gifted to myself over time. But 6 years ago, I was lucky to have 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally get that. I love that. Okay. So now we start out the day. I'd probably say I'm about 40 minutes on average.
Good. That's good.
So my meditation's about 20. And then a couple other nicety things that I love to do. That does not include my walking or my exercise. That's separate.
Because you do that later, right?
I do that later. Yeah.
Yeah. I choose to do mine in the morning, or it doesn't get done. So.
Yeah. Mine's in the morning. It's just, it varies because I have East Coast clients. So sometimes I do need to get on quicker than normal. Yeah. So then I'll walk later. So yeah. And that's what we love about being entrepreneurs, right? Like we can change. Each day can be different. You get to pick, like you said, create your own reality.
Yep.
So I love creating that own reality. I used to get straight up and do the exercise. And now I'm taking that extra hour to sleep. So I've always been a 7-hour sleeper. And my nutritionist, amazing Dr. Tracy, shared that I need to have that extra hour of REM sleep or deep sleep or whatever to get rid of the fat cortisol on my little tummy. So when I wake up after my 7 hours and I feel amazing, I'm making myself stay in bed an extra hour. So that's why my morning routine, actually, that's part of my morning routine now to relax.
Nice.
And stay in bed an extra hour. And it is working. My stomach is flattening and I'm still, I don't know what I was doing with that extra hour, but it's sleeping now because it's fine. I still go to bed at the same time. It's hilarious.
Good for you. Good for
Yeah,
you.
so that's good. So we all, we get to create our own reality, change it as we go, and see what fits best for us. Okay, so you have an amazing morning routine. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started the practice of law of attraction, I had to set an alarm on my phone to breathe. I first set an alarm 3 times a day to take 3 deep breaths, and then I did it every hour. Now it's just part of my routine that I'm always looking at, oh, is that bringing me joy? Does that bring me joy? Does that bring me joy? Like I moved my office out into my living room because there was a leak. But now I'm looking at a beautiful tree right now. I'm looking at the sunlight and it brings me so much joy. So I'm staying here. It's not the cutest thing when you walk in my house, but I love it. I love it. So tell me, how do you maybe stay in it or maybe even recapture it like after lunch or something? What is a technique that you might use to get back to that joyous flow feeling? Oh, there she is.
Okay, so I'm hating the fact that the internet is wonky and I have connected to the Ethernet on purpose. This is why I'm on my laptop today instead of my usual setup for podcasting with you, because I'm trying it out the way that you guys suggested.
Yeah,
so
the hard
I'm going back to over there in a minute, but we'll see. So your question was, you were talking about joy and how do we stay?
How do you find it like later on in the day? Let's say, you got a great morning routine, but then lunch comes up or a client comes up or something crunchy comes up. How do you get back to it?
So great question. Oh my God. So many different ways for me. Stuff comes up all day long, right? Things come up all day long.
Oh, you mean your life's not perfect, Denise? What the hell?
Oh no. If I gave the impression that my life is perfect, I am so sorry because I am human and things come up. Things came up just before this, right? So I absolutely look at things moment by moment, right? And decide, is this something worth carrying with me or is this something I can let go of? And for the work that I do, I choose to let go of a lot of stuff because it doesn't help me be in the present moment. Like right now, like stuff happened right before this, but I wanted to be here with you for this podcast. And so I can process and deal with whatever happened prior later. But right now, it's absolutely not gonna serve me or serve any listeners, for example, if I'm not right here with you.
Yeah, for sure. So I like what you said about moment to moment. I'm a good.
That's one thing. Like, let's get a little. I'm doing what he's telling me to do, so we can kind of.
Okay, good.
But the other thing too, I mean, we're here because we wanted to talk about the scale, right? And I do use it. It's something I'm going to show you, and I'll describe it for the people who are listening today.
Okay, so we're going to show you the emotional scale
yet,
right here.
Not the one that Juan's going to show us yet, but this is what I kept in my wallet.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, from 2017 when I first learned about it. This is the piece of paper with the emotional guidance scale on it.
Okay, this piece of paper has gone through hell and back, girl.
It is like literally looks like it has gone through the wash, although it has not. It's just because I've pulled it out so many times every day, multiple times a day when I was first learning this to go, okay, I'm feeling something and it's not joy. What the hell am I feeling? I need
Oh my God. Wait, you just hit on something. You just hit on something so big.
I did. Yeah.
Because we have to know what we're feeling to do any of this.
Yeah.
And anything with your money.
Yeah.
And anything with your parenting.
Yep.
And anything with any of our worlds here.
Yep.
We have
about the
to
F
know the F word. Exactly. We have to know what we're feeling first. So for you to bring up the emotional scale, anybody can Google it anywhere. We're going to share it as well. But she has a printout from years ago that she carried around with her. I love it, Denise. And I did this with my kids. And I did this with my kids growing up, Journey and Parker.
But it's the one that we're going to show you today. It's well loved.
Okay, awesome.
But
awesome. And so we did this all the time. We called it iMessages way back when, right? How do you feel? So it's, I feel mad that you took my comb or whatever. I feel angry that, you won't let me go first. Whatever, like little kids, like all the way. So they my family all laughed at me. Your kids are like ridiculous with their feelings, but we taught them feelings all the way from the beginning. And
That's
I
awesome.
forget that our age was not taught that. So we have to go back and learn what we're feeling.
Right.
So that's awesome.
There are like 4,000 words to describe our feelings. And the majority of the people walking the planet use under 100. Like more like 10.
Yeah, I would say I don't even know 100.
I mean, mad, sad, happy,
There's like 8.
There's not a lot, but there's so many different ranges because angry could be miffed, pissed, furious, right? There's many different ranges of angry, for example. And I think that for me, that was the very first part of this was I really wasn't coming from a family like yours where I was taught to talk about my feelings. My mom and I talked about feelings, but it wasn't something that we openly discussed as a family or even with people in my world. And so just being able to identify my own feelings was really helpful for me because you can't go anywhere. You can't go up in the emotional scale to a better feeling thought unless you first identify where you are. And honestly, I didn't even recognize that, for example, depression or sadness is one state, right? I mean, everybody knows about that, but like that anger is a state above that, getting you out of depression. And so, in my household, it's like being angry was something that you wanted to squash. So don't be angry. Like you got to get out of that really fast. And so if you're sad and you're told to get out of anger, you go right back to sadness. You don't go up until you're capable enough to process your emotions. And then, anyway, we could talk about this stuff deeper because I think it's worth.
No, that was really, really good.
Like I teach my clients this stuff and.
Yeah, no, that was really good. So our society accepts anger more than depression, sadness, pity, or despair, right? Yep. So and as a human being, we accept anger easier because we're in action around anger. But below anger is despair and depression and sadness. Our society is not that great with that. We'd much rather you be in anger. And then as little girls growing up, you're not supposed to be mad.
No.
And you're not supposed to talk until children are not seen until they're spoken to or whatever.
Yep. Children are seen, but not heard.
There you go. That's why I was putting the two together. Yeah.
The other one I grew up with.
Yes. Total. Children are seen and not heard. And you only speak when you're spoken to was mine. So when we are mad about something and we're told not to feel our feelings or share our feelings, then we don't get to go up the scale. We go down the scale to sadness or depression. And so no wonder why we get so frustrated because we don't even know how we feel. And then once we do, we don't know how to express it or get it out of our body.
Right. And it can get stored and become body pain or, illness, cancer. I mean, all kinds of horrible
divorce.
Stuff. Yeah, right. Addiction,
compulsion,
overspending,
overeating,
right. Fill in the blank here.
Sexing, sleeping around.
Right. And we're joking about this stuff, but the reality is this is a lot of people's world, right? This is what they are. And then throw in shame or embarrassment,
and all that's under there too. So I was over busy. My compulsion or whatever you call it was to stay busy so that I did not have to feel the space between the raindrops because I didn't have space. I just kept going.
Got it. Wow.
So that way I could run from the feelings almost. And it did work for a long time. And all it did was all gather up into a great big ass mess and then hit you all at once. So it's not the smart thing to do.
No.
So in order to feel our feelings, to know what we're feeling, slow down.
Yeah.
Is there any other way besides just slow down and give it a minute to actually think or feel something?
I think that's a big part of the process, because oftentimes I hear, and I've been guilty of this too, of how you want to shift it and move out of it, right? But there's a lot of wisdom in just slowing down and feeling it to healing it and just staying in it for a moment, right? So if I'm in anger, for example, maybe there's a really good reason for me to be angry, and maybe I can sit with it for a moment and experience the anger instead of like, oh my God, this is anger and I shouldn't be in anger and I need to get out of anger and I don't want to go back down into sadness. So I better figure out what's next. Okay, rage. I can go into rage, but that's really scary. So, like rather than all that, just, okay, what's pissing me off? What's behind this? And just allowing some space to figure out what it is that I'm angry about. Is it about what is it in myself that's triggering this anger, right? Because it might be, that person that's in front of me. I could easily blame that.
Yeah, but why are you so mad about it? Exactly. I love that. The triggering.
But rather,
I just talk. When you freeze, I just talk. So go ahead. I love it.
And then I come back to figure out where you're at.
I know, right?
Sorry.
We gotta love technology. Gotta love technology. So you just said something good as well. I want to make sure that we touch base on that. Is I feel like our visualization, or The Secret, the movie came out, which is great because it's all about law of attraction, but we're also rushing to visualize the great thing and to feel the great thing. Mm-hmm. When actuality, we cannot go from despair to joy.
Hell no.
You just can't go straight there. And so then what do we do as women, especially, as we feel shame because we can't get out of it. Right. So then that just digs us in our depression deeper. Mm-hmm. And so forget the rah, I don't know what you want to call it, because I'm part of that community, which I love, the self-improvement community, right? And our diagnosing ourselves. And yep. Right. We love all of that. Good old Tony Robbins. Got to love us some Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we have to have space to feel what we're feeling so that we don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then I want to add one more thing to that. Get help. Reach out. 100%. Get a friend. Find a mentor. Get a coach. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't want to slow down and feel those feelings by ourselves because it's really scary. And that's okay. Right. That's okay. Like I literally will reach out to Denise and say, okay, bad day. Mm-hmm. So she's on cue of this is a bad day. And then it's like, okay, do you need me to be your bucket to give me all your crap? Or right? Or do you want me to send you love? Like, what do you need? What do you need? Sometimes it is that you need to just verbalize it and get it all out. And sometimes, which I just did, was that last week? I think I just did it like a week ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ah! And then she texted me today something about it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot all about that because I got it all out. Yeah. Right. Now she's smart about putting her bubble around her so that my stuff doesn't go on to her. So that's that brings us to another thing. When we're with someone else, how do we keep someone else's feelings to not attaching to us? Yes. Oh, that's so important. I don't know how to do that one. Yes, you do. And I remind you, you do. You actually do it very well. And sometimes you're human and you forget, right? Like we all are, because it's a muscle. I think of it like it's a muscle we need to learn to stretch. And I'm working on it too, right? My lesson in my life has been to learn to use her voice, y'all. And it cut out right when she was supposed to say her voice. That's freaking hilarious. Voice and miss out. Yes, my voice. And when it pauses at that dramatic moment, I can come back. Yeah, right. So when someone's really like, as a coach, if it's my client, I absolutely 100% know how to pop them out of their problem box, right? I'm not going to let a client of mine stay stuck
and just vent and vent and vent and vent in their problem.
Yeah.
That's not going to serve them, right? So I know tools to help them. If it's a friend, I'm going to be a little bit more, I think about it, like all of a sudden what popped in my head is like fly fishing, like, I'm going to hold the bucket for you. I'm going to let you vent and spew as much stuff as you want to. And if I feel like it's being pushed on me, I might then hold my own boundary to say, I need to take a break, or I need to take a breather, or I'll be right back. I need to take a bio break, for example, or something where I can kind of clear my own space and recognize, okay, this is, I'm not like Velcro. I don't want this to stick to me. This is not my shit. This is her shit or his shit. Sorry for the S-bombs, but that's how it feels in the moment, right? Like, I'm like, this is not my stuff. And I love you, whether it's you, Jennifer, or some other friend or family member or client. And I love them enough to still stay there, but I have to be at my highest, best self. And above that, like, I have to be tapped into my source, my God,
her angels and all her people, for sure. I do the same thing. I'm definitely not here by myself.
No, you're not. I'm always here with you. So I can't be helping you or anyone else in my world if I'm in your problem with you, if I'm in the problem box with you, because then we're two people in the problem and we're just, I know, and that's awful, and he did that, and she said this, and
that's a great point. We're going to reiterate right now, because that is awesome. So since we believe in law of attraction, I mean, that's happening regardless if you believe in it or not, just like gravity. However, since we focus on that daily and we make this a daily practice, what we put out, we get back. And so when somebody is just always negative and always bringing up something that's going to talk about the not good thing of it, or the bad thing of it, or the negative thing of it, or anything, instead of bringing up the positive thing, they bring up the negative thing. That's very different than what I'm talking about. So I will absolutely cut someone off if they're going down the train of the rolling down the hill momentum of just all negative Nancy,
spiraling.
Just spiraling down, down, down. None of that does any good for anyone.
No.
So sitting there and feeling it yourself is very different than sharing it with someone else. However, if it's someone that does this all the time, that this is their pattern, then we or no one can serve them by let them continue with that pattern. That's all they do. I think I call Denise maybe twice a year and flip out. So that's not like an all the time thing.
Not at all.
That is, right? That's a once in a situation that I need to be talked off the ledge, or
step 5 moment that you're like, oh, I'm in step 5.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Why am I doing this? And let's get back to it. And actually even kind of liking the crunchiness part of it. Today I had some crunchy stuff too. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be really cool when it's gone. Like, cause I already know, right? So 2 different things. If someone is chronically addicted to negativity and complaining and finding the worst, that is not what we're talking about here. That is exhausting. And it doesn't help anyone to go in that person's story with them and masturbate negativity bullshit. So cut that out right now.
They're not even aware of, right? Like, I have clients that are, it's their habit. It's their old programming from childhood. That's all they know, because they weren't raised in a different environment, or they didn't seek out, like we've done the work, right? They haven't done the work yet, or they're doing the work now.
And they're not even aware of it, like you said. So I have a friend who is always upbeat and happy while she's saying the negative stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm not listening to that anymore. Tell me something good about that. Even though you're smiling and upbeat and happy.
Mismatch.
Right. And if you're still talking about all the negative stuff, it's still talking about negative stuff. Like, you can't smile it away. Oh, well, yeah, but I just want you to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about that. Like, that I don't need that in my aura. I don't need that in my bubble. I don't need that in my brain. Like, it just doesn't need to be anywhere near me. So unless, of course, we're helping our clients or our friends get to the next level, that's different. Okay, good. So sitting there feeling it, we're going to feel it. And then we realize where it's coming from. It's never coming from what you think it is. It's always coming from either a core wound or something that we've got going. For me, my biggest one is a fear of failure. So if I don't look good, or if something's not happening right, if it's not perfect, then it's going to lead back to, I'm not good enough. No. So once we take that anger issue and come back to what is it really about? Okay, yeah. It is about that. Yeah, I am good enough. It's all okay. So then we kind of get ourselves out of that anger. So should we show the emotional scale now to see how we?
Awesome. I'd love that. And then maybe even kind of walk through it.
Yeah, that'd be great. So if you're at home, thank you, Juan. If you are at home, pull up the emotional guidance scale, and you're going to see two spirals. One on the left is the upward spiral. One on the right is the downward spiral. And so this is kind of what we were talking about. We can't just go from despair to joy, right? We have to go up the spiral. Go ahead, Denise. Tell me what you love about this scale.
What I love about this particular scale and this visual is that it's super easy to read and it's super easy to use. So it doesn't matter if you resonate with the words on this sheet or not. Like maybe joy isn't your thing, but maybe the word happy is, or maybe you don't like to think about being depressed because that might be scary to you to label yourself, I'm depressed, but maybe you feel sadness and you resonate with that. It doesn't matter what the word is. What's more important is kind of like the vibrational level, because we're all vibrational beings. And you guys could kind of get a sense of, if I asked you what it feels like to feel disempowered, victimized, depressed, stuck in fear or grief, that has a certain feel to it, which is very different than, I'm worried about something, I was a little disappointed or overwhelmed a little bit. Those are different feelings, right? This is a different vibrational state versus, I'm feeling a little hopeful and optimistic about something, or really excited or enthusiastic about something. So the words that we're tossing out here, hopefully you're getting an idea that it's just a feeling state and it's a vibration in your body that kind of gets attached to that state. And we want you, Jennifer and I love you dearly, and we want you to live more on this left side, the upward spiral, the feeling states that are what we tend as a society to think about, that are more happy, positive, and content, versus what we tend to label the negative emotional states, right? Things like frustration, overwhelmment, worry, blame, anger, hatred, jealousy, insecurity, things like that.
Yeah.
So this is helpful because it's a very visual way, in my mind, to label your feelings and then look at, okay, I'm here. I'm not going to be able to go all the way up to joy, happiness, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation right now. But what can I do to get myself up one notch up, one state up? And on the sheet, if you're seeing this visually, there's between 1 and 22 states. So your job for that day or that afternoon or that week or whatever it is, if you've been in it for a while, maybe for a week, is to move up one notch, right? Or 2 notches, just so you kind of get the momentum of getting you into better feeling states.
I love it. So I'm going to just say them real quick, starting from 22 at the bottom. 22 is fear, grief, depression, powerlessness, and victim. 21 is insecurity, guilt, and unworthiness. 20 is jealousy. 19 is hatred or rage. 18 is revenge. 17 is anger. 16 is discouragement. 15 is blame. 14 is worry. 13 is doubt. 12 is disappointment. 11 is overwhelm. 10 is frustration, irritation, or impatience. I'm never that. 9 is pessimism. 8 is boredom. Then we have to more of the positive things. 7 is contentment. So if we can at least find contentment, we can go up from there. 6 is hopefulness.
Yeah.
What?
Or satisfied.
Or satisfied. Contentment or satisfied. 6 is hopefulness. 5 is optimism. 4 is positive expectation or belief. 3 is enthusiasm. 2 is passion. 1 is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. So like you were just saying, you can't go from fear, grief, depression, number 22, all the way up to number 1, which is joy. We have to go up each rung. Okay, so I liked how this was. I didn't realize this because I'm not a jealous person. So 21 is insecurity and guilt. 20 is jealousy. 19 is hatred and rage. So jealousy is worse than hatred.
Yep.
Wow. And then we have revenge and then anger. So a lot of us live in
yep. I know, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. And I
watch people go through these stages so quickly because it can happen. I mean, you could actually go from 1 to 6 above pretty quickly with just a thought. Like it could just be one little thought. And the book that this is from, Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires, is actually really good at kind of taking an example of a woman in grief who just lost her father through these steps to kind of get back to where she's feeling joy.
I love it.
So if you need examples, Jennifer and I can give you examples, or, there's, like I said, there's a lot of examples out there in the book, but
that's great. And I love that passion is number 2 because I feel very enthusiasm, which is 3, right? I feel very enthusiastic about my day because I'm so passionate about changing women's lives and helping them step into the left side upward spiral of the joy and optimism because it's so fun. So once we have a passion, then we can get to the joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. I love it.
Right. I was going to ask you, Jennifer, where is it that you feel you live most of the days? And granted, like it could be different topics. If you think about one topic, I'm over here. But if I think about most of my day, I'm over here. So it could be varied, of course, because we all are human. But where would you say your set point tradition?
Yeah, traditionally, that's a great question. I'm going to say I am 4.
Sits.
The positive expectation belief, number 4. I think that's my main stay. That's where I pretty much stay. And then when I think about something that I'm going to do or that's exciting, like right now, I'm very enthusiastic. I'm doing ads and stuff. So that's fun.
I love that.
Right. And then when we meet with our clients, that's number 2 is passion always, because it is my total passion. And then when I'm purposefully doing something, asking myself, like you said in the morning, right, what brings me joy? Then I can find, like, easily my cell phone case brings me joy. I love my cell phone case, right? And my cat brings me joy. Like little, simple, easy things bring me joy. And that's why I have all my clients, everything in your house should bring you joy. If not, get rid of it.
Right.
It all has energy and it all has thought. Yeah.
Right.
Now we can go down to, the anger is number 17. I can go to frustration. Number 10, irritation and impatience. I can go there like that. Somebody on the 800 number calls me, somebody cuts me off on the freeway. Like I can get to frustration very, very easily. So I'm really happy to see that it's closer to the upper spiral.
Yeah, right.
Anger or hatred.
I agree. And that's kind of mine too. Like I'm with you there. Like I get frustrated way more often than I get enraged, right? Yeah. Or angry. Like anger is a place that I don't tend to go, but I can get frustrated pretty easily. And, if I feel like my buttons are pushed or, and I mean, you talked me down the ledge last week when I spent 3.5 or 4 hours in Home Depot trying to buy a flipping refrigerator. Like I was frustrated. I'm like, I just want to get out of this stupid store.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we can I'm glad to see that it's not fully down there though. So now let's talk about like insecurity and guilt and unworthiness. That's number 21. That's not a good place to live. And then jealousy. I'm just
not a good place to live.
Yeah. It's not, and then below that, the depression, powerlessness, victim. So I've experienced trauma and emotional abuse. So I was in that powerlessness, victim state and grief and fear and all that. Right.
Right.
And so to get out of that, we have to just maybe, that's why Denise was saying earlier, maybe just get to anger.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. You don't have to go from that to anything, but just get mad about it maybe. Like,
Exactly.
and that's part of grief, right? Getting through all of that.
Yes. Yes. And I've lived there too. I mean, to be completely open, like I would say my go-to negative emotion has been fear. Or in a, in a past life, and I don't mean that literally, but like in my younger days, I definitely was a victim for sure. And that does not feel good at all. It doesn't feel good at all. Now I would say I still can go to fear, but more often I think looking at the scale, it's probably more along the lines of worry and doubt. And it might be self-doubt as opposed to total fear. Do you know what I'm saying? Like fear for me now is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're a grown ass woman now, Denise. You got some stuff going.
Than fear for me back then, which was losing everything,
Yeah.
And I did feel very, very powerless. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a step from powerlessness for me was feeling unworthy. Like I had to go there. And it seems weird to think about it now, but it's a step up. Being like, I'm the victim. I'm never going to get out of this. Whole unworthiness was a step up for me, thinking and just dwelling on, I suck. I'm never going to amount to anything, or what am I going to do with my life? I don't know how to turn this around. I did this to myself, right? These are the guilt feeling, like this is my own fault. These is based on my choices. Like that's a step up, which you don't think about when you're really low.
Yeah, when you're really low, you don't think about it, but anything's really a step up. And this is where we need to learn not to squash our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you're showing the scale today, Denise. Thank you, because
you're welcome.
When we feel this insecurity, we feel like we want to squash it, and we don't. We actually got us out of victimhood.
Exactly.
So feeling insecure got us out of being a victim. Now let's get mad.
Yes.
And then, I mean, I don't know about
springboard. That's like rocket fuel. And I see it all the time. Like I have family members right now, not family members, sorry, clients right now that are so pissed at the school district. But they're, that's a place to even acknowledge and live in for a little while, because they then are at least feeling empowered, right? Because they're no longer the victim where they can't have any control. They're actually moving forward into it's their fault. I'm pissed at them.
Exactly. Exactly. They're into more action to get something.
I can't stand it. You could just see it. You could see them taking control. Exactly.
Yeah.
More action. Yeah.
I love that. And then we can keep going up, right? So as long as we see that, I love that scale. I want to use it more as well. So thank you for sharing.
Like I said, I keep it in my wallet, and I have taken it out on occasion at restaurants or whatever, or with friends, and like, oh, you're feeling here, and just having a visual sometimes can be helpful, because you can tell someone, oh, this is a good place to be. It feels better, but they're not going to believe you, But if you have something tangible, it's like, oh, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Permission to be in whatever state they're in.
So where do you live normally?
I tend to live in appreciation a lot.
Where is that on the scale? I did not see that.
I live in my joy and appreciation. That's at number 1. But I also drop down to being excited or, passionate about something, or even hopeful. I mean, like with dating right now, I'm more in the hopeful and learning to, like, I appreciate men. I appreciate all they provide. So it's definitely an appreciation. But it's probably more of an expectancy, a hopeful expectancy.
I love it. I love it.
All
right, you all, did y'all hear that? Denise is in the dating field if you're seeing this on the current time. Thank you all so much. We want you to get the F word, the foundation with your finances literally is how you feel. It's the F word. So check out this emotional scale. Keep following us. Watch, share, download, tell all your friends. Check out Rock My Finances. Denise, much love.
Love you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, every Thursday right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. It's not about the zeros, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.